Okay, so you guys, I'm so excited for these two to talk to you. And what I was saying before I forgot to record, if you're watching the recording, is that I didn't get a chance to announce them today because we've been house hunting again, and the cool part about that is kind of what I want to intro with that before I hand it over to them. And it comes down to life is a result of a culmination of your decisions. So hear me out on this. Where you're at right now, Jeff Hill always says you're perfectly aligned for where you're at, for your current results. What you have. You've driven. We can, whichever personal development book we want to use right now. Somehow I got Angela Thornhill promoted. Anyway, Angela, just know that you can be seen by people, so don't pick your nose or anything. But anyway, so you drove your energy bus wherever you're at. Do you know what I'm saying? What is cool about that is you aren't responsible from here back. Okay, you're responsible though from here forward. And I'm not sure who posted it because it popped up in conversation so quickly, but they said, I'm here and I'm ready to learn. Okay, and so you guys, I'm going to talk about this at Summit, with Brittany Leggett, but how to go from good to great. Okay, and I was talking about this in a leadership group, and being good at something is super simple. Okay, super simple. Okay, you're like, wait, no, seriously, it's not. Yes, it is. All it takes is to be consistent. Okay, so if you want to be really good in your fitness journey, all you have to do is be consistent. I didn't say perfect. You have to be consistent every single day, hungry to be the best version of yourself. If you want to be a really good wife, you just have to be consistent in the things that you've identified, you personally, you and your spouse. You've asked him or her and you said, what would help me, help me understand what you need from me as a wife. You guys identify them, and then all you need to do is be consistent in that, okay? The same thing goes for this business. To be really good in this business, you just need to be consistent. And that's why I'm super excited about what Nan and Christy are going to talk about, because they're about to give you a backstage pass to what it means to be all in as a part-time coach. See, I think sometimes people think to be really good at something, it has to become your identity. Good Lord, please do not. Your identity is not wrapped up in this, but you can become very good, which is what these two amazing leaders have done. They've become very good at it by being very consistent in some things that they're going to share with you. Now, I'm going to go a step further, and I believe that they're great, and they're headed towards great because they are humble enough to always be hungry to learn. Always. Both of them are always like, tell me more, teach me. Why they're seeking wise counsel all the time, you guys. And that is how you go to great. It is that simple. And it's that simple. But some of you guys, I know, struggle in that. And that's before I hand it over to them, you guys, I want to talk about that for a second because that's been exploding in my heart. I was talking to the leaders about that. Why are you here? Because here's the thing, if you haven't dug down as to why, your vision, you know what I mean? A man without a vision will perish. If you don't have a vision for your business, it will perish because life is busy. And if there's not a vision for where you want to go, it will get pushed over, right? It'll go it'll be on the back burner for a while, right? And so here's the deal. I don't care when you signed up to coach. I don't care if it's been 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. You know what I'm saying? What I care about is when you actually started being consistent. And now from that time forward, give me a year. I did not, you guys have heard me say before, give me a year. I do not mean give me a year and sit here and be inconsistent. I mean a year from the moment that you decide that you're going to be consistent. A year from that, from when you have thrown out your excuses and every single day, and they're going to teach you all in does not mean all day, but you've decided that you refuse to give up on yourself and your vision. I was talking to Jessica Williams the other day, and she had a friend that was asking her, how come, why are you where you're at in your fitness journey, and I'm where I am? Please help me understand that. And these are the most simple, wise words from Jessica. Was I just refused to keep giving up on myself. I refused to keep giving up on myself. You know, she refused to give herself any more outs when it came to her fitness journey. And Jess has overcome so many things, right? When it comes to the ups, and she has refused to give up on the best version of herself. The only reason I'm sitting here is because I refused to give up on my vision. But my vision was something that was worth fighting for, and I wasn't scared to share. So let's talk about that for a second. You have to identify your vision first. Okay, why are you here? And it does not matter why your coach is here or why, you know, I'm here. The only thing that matters is that it is important to you, and you have that. When you close your eyes, you know where you're headed. This is where, you know, for example, Chad and I have a vision for our marriage, for our kids, for our business, for our finances, right? And that is our compass, right? So when we're making decisions based on our finances, we ask ourselves, does that align with our vision for where we want to be in a year from now, 5 years, 10 years, right? We're always aligning it with what our vision is, okay? So when you go on vacation, let's talk about this, okay? See, I know what my vision for my fitness is, and it does not revolve around some stupid number. You know what I mean? It revolves around how I want to hang from the chandeliers. You guys know what I'm talking about. Come on, you guys. You know what I'm talking about when it comes to hanging from the chandeliers. You know that absolute passion for your spouse that you're just like, you just want to be like, oh, bam! You know what I mean? Like a boss. You know what I mean? Like, that's my vision. You know what I mean? And I want to be that Are you just listening? I need to get a chandelier, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. That sounds like fun.
That does sound like fun. You guys, like, that's my vision. I want to be that confident. I haven't always been that. Do you know what I mean? And so when I make decisions, even now on vacation, right? Like, we cook here. You know, I ate butternut squash, but I'm still working on it. But you know what I mean? It's not like French fries and cheeseburgers, you know, and pizza all over the place, right? Because I have a vision that is near and dear to my heart. I want that little girl to not have this mom that is always walking past the mirror going, you know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Or that mom that steps on the scale, steps off and gets all pissed off, you know what I mean? Or the mom saying, no, not that picture. You look at it, you go, yeah, I look fat. No, do you know what I mean? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I grew up like that. You know what I mean? And that's not, my vision is deep-seated right here that I'm willing to fight for, right? And that is my true north. Okay, so for this business, you have to have a vision, because it's easy to be like, well, I'm on vacation. Well, look, I'm on vacation. I am. 34 acres of complete awesome. Okay, go-karts. You saw Chad driving that golf cart, right? Tennis, you know what I mean? Well, I'm not playing tennis. I get to watch. But you guys get what I'm saying, like a pool, a jacuzzi. It's amazing. But I'm in here with you guys. Why? Because I have a vision for where I want to go and what, you know, the ripple effect, the generational, like, blessings that I want to help. You know what I mean? That the calling that I feel, I know. So do you know? Before we get into this, because what Nan and Christy teach you, if you don't have a vision, no matter how big or how small, it'll go in one ear and out the other. So I'm going to ask that you guys, as you sit here for a second, I want you guys to think to yourself. I want you to put your walls down and let yourself dream again. Close your eyes. Like, what if you couldn't fail? I'm going to ask the same thing I asked people at Danny before we go in. If you couldn't fail, what would this business look like? What would it look like? Close your eyes. Come on, man. Where would you be? Would you be traveling? I mean, that's my vision. You know what I mean? Like, how awesome. Like, we have a VRBO in South Carolina. We're looking at a VRBO here in Texas. We kind of migrate up to Ohio to hang out with people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, we're planning trips to Italy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I can run this business from anywhere. Does that make sense? Like, when I close my eyes like that, man, that's living. And to me, it might not be to you. But do you see what I'm saying? So what is that for you? What is that? What is that? 4 years ago, when I closed my eyes, you know, the people that jumped on my train, they knew what my vision is. Think about it. When you get on any train, don't you want to know the person that's driving the train is like, boop, boop. That's what my train sounds like. We're going this way, right? We're going this way. And then people jump on your train because they're like, yep, that train's going that way. But only if you know where your train's going and you got that, like, conviction about you, right? You got that conviction about where your Challenger train is going. Like, this, I'm going to create this soft place for my Challengers to grow, to understand that they're wonderfully made. Like, I know what I want my Challengers to feel and what I want it to look like for them. Jump on my train. You know what I mean? I did the same thing about the business. You know what I mean? I want people to be free. I want people to dream again. This is the train. Get on it. I need you to develop a train, okay? I need you to develop a train, okay? And to work through that and to share it. And that is something that Danny has taught me, you know, and the only way to become more convicted in your vision is to share it. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Okay, so as these two jump on here with us and they start, I want you to let that marinate. I want you to go to bed letting, you know, speak it out loud, man. You know, like I just said, I want to hang from a chandelier. Like, it's out there. Do you know what I mean? And Chad heard it. So I don't know. I might have to hang from one. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, life and death is in the power of the tongue. That is in what you focus on is what you get more of. So if you continually talk about it, when I continually talked about where this train was going, you know, with Chad and giving him the freedom and to create real estate and all that, I spoke it. Did people laugh at me? Absolutely, but that's okay. That's just because, like, it might have made them nervous or it's new to them, slow to take offense. It's okay. Like, I don't have to get pissed off at someone that doesn't see my vision or makes fun of me. It's okay. This is my vision. You know, they don't have to buy it. I do. And the more you talk about it, the more you believe it. But if you don't talk about it, guess what happens? It gets put on the back burner. And before you know it, that time has passed. And you're like, man, what did I do with the last 10 years? I'm still right here. I'm still right where I was 10 years ago. See, I knew 7 years ago I didn't want to be where I was. And I made a decision to not give up on myself. So tonight, I'm going to ask you guys to write that down. Be convicted in that. I refuse to give up on myself anymore. Period. On my vision. Right? That's what I want you guys to take in. So, you guys, we're not going to do recognition tonight because my phone is not bringing it up because I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like, seriously, there's no internet here and it's running off my phone, and apparently my phone cannot run a Zoom call and pull up recognition. So, we must have to skip it tonight. You know. So, we're going to bring Christy and Nan. I'm going to unmute them. You know. They are going to share with you guys tonight. Wait, hold on. Can you guys hear me okay? You guys, let me say something so I know your audio is working.
Good.
Awesome. Okay, that stinks that I'm freezing every now and again. I apologize. Okay, so let's do our best here. I want to get, my goal from now on, you guys can hold me to it, is to have everybody off here by 9:45 East Coast time. See, sometimes I can get going and we can still be on at 10:30 East Coast time, and that is not honoring anybody. So that, you guys hold me to that. Like, yeah, Summer, cut it off. But you guys, I'm excited for you guys to hear this power team right here, best friends that came together. You know what I mean? And they're going to share with you how they have built something absolutely incredible through not only the mom cracks, but the full-time working cracks, and how they've learned and failed forward. They're going to share with you guys. They're going to give you a backstage glimpse into what all in part-time means, because most of us, we are not working this 8 hours a day. I'm still not. I refuse to. That's not my vision. Okay, I will work, 5 days a week, but I will not work 8 hours a day. So you're going to hear directly from these people. We're going to interview them, though, real quick, because some of you guys don't know Christy and Nan like I do, and I want you guys to. So I want each of you, Christy, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your family, and why you signed up to coach.
Yeah, absolutely. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Christy. I live in Ohio, and I have a husband and 2 boys that are 7 and 4. And I've been a coach about 2.5-ish years. We're getting close to that. But before I was a coach, honestly, my 2 biggest fears were being depressed and bankrupt. So I had a whole family history of things like that. And ironically, over the last 2 years, I've gained so many tools. I've lost 40 pounds, paid off for getting close to $15,000 worth of debt. Really, as some were saying, been able to find what vision is. And I know for me and my family, it's peace and choice, like being able to really take the time and make decisions, whether that's jobs or moves. Up until about a year ago, I worked 3 jobs. Now I kind of work 2. Around, but always at least 30 hours a week, because I'm an occupational therapist and I love that. So I haven't given up work because I love working with kids. I just ran a vacation Bible school, like director of it last week, and it was totally my joy. But 2 years ago, I would have been terrified if someone asked me to do something like that. There's no way I would have been able to step in and direct and pass things off and take, as Summer says, like people criticizing and let it rolling off and move forward. So there's just been so many skills outside of coaching people and weight loss that I've been prepared for. And honestly, about 10 days ago, my husband got laid off, which if this had happened before coaching, I know that what I was most fearful of would have been my life. So now, despite all this turmoil, we still have peace in our family. I'm still running the business. We're still going to the zoo. We're still have this vision of what our family looks like, and whether or not what job he takes or when he gets a job, we have the choice because there's that confidence. So that's really awesome. Respond to that, because doing the little things over the 2 years, coming to these calls every single week, I don't think I've ever missed a team call, is how I got here and how I know I'm moving forward. So.
Consistency. You guys hear that? Consistency. She's never, you know what? I've never missed a team call either, Christy.
Nan led a team call on her birthday last week. So, there's things to be said about non-negotiable.
Consistency. That's how you become good. When I first talked to Christy, you guys, you have to understand, she really wasn't interested in working with me, really. You know what I mean? She was, I think a friend, right, kind of talked you into it, and you fought it, and finally you're like, fine, did 10 days with me. And when she even signed up to coach, she had no intention. And the next day, like, I don't even know what happened. I was like, oh, it's fine. You know what I mean? I'm all about your vision. You know what I mean? And the next day she's like, can I have the checklist for coaching? I was like, what the heck? You know what I mean? Sure. And like the next day she's like, okay, I finished the checklist. I was like, oh, all right. So never in a million years did I think she would be one of our fastest growing teams, her and Nan, what they're building and how they're growing. It's absolutely awesome. So Christy, thank you for trusting me and showing up and being consistent and being such a good example of what a leader should look like. So I'm excited for you to share. Nan, you're up, girlfriend. So you guys are like two peas in a pod. Buddies, you know what I mean? And you resisted this whole thing, correct? Wasn't it your husband that at first was like, let's do this? And you were like, no, I don't need this.
Correct. Yes. So yes, my husband actually signed up first, and Christy kind of signed him up as a discount coach. And I resisted it. Didn't need Shakeology, didn't need workouts. I, was a former marathoner, runner, and I thought that was enough for me. I had my second daughter, and I kind of was just feeling like just that blah, like I wasn't bouncing back, even though, I didn't gain a lot of weight. I've never been, somebody that had a ton of weight to lose or anything, but I just didn't feel good about myself. So my husband was trying it, and Christy, actually, she, just gave me T25, and I ended up yes, I was one of those people that I ended up buying it from eBay. Yes, I did. And because I was like, this is ridiculous. I am not doing this. And so, and then we ended up quitting Shakeology for a month. And then we both my husband and I missed it. We felt great with it. And so definitely, I think that's a strong thing to know that, challengers, they do quit and they do come back. But so then,
they buy from eBay. They do buy from eBay.
No, I did not.
Let's not get yes. They do buy from eBay. You know what I mean? So don't write them off and get too discouraged.
Yes.
Nan did. Amy Silverman bought it off Craigslist. You know what I mean? And wanted nothing to do with Shakeology. Jessica Williams was hell-bent on returning her entire challenge pack after it didn't work the first month. You know what I mean? That was what she thought she was going to do. So I love that you brought that up, Nan.
Yes. And I didn't even plug into any accountability groups because I had it. Like, I had it all. I didn't need personal development. I didn't need any of this. Okay. So, I mean, I had it. I had the drive, except for I hated T25 when I did it. Let me tell you, 6 weeks, like, I got the go and I was like, I can do this. And it sucked. I was like, I don't know, like, what is going on? But, like, what happened to, like, me being able to just go out and run? Like, something is not right. Okay, well, that happens after you have a couple kids, as, we know, some of us, Uh, so anyways, I stuck it out, and yeah, it started just to, I kind of just was like, I'm just going to sign up as a discount. So I signed up under my husband, took, Christy's words of, wisdom, and did that. And suddenly, it's, I felt the whole thing of, I don't want to go back to work with my first daughter. And now I've had my second daughter, and I was feeling it even more. I wanted to see how I could kind of break free from, being full time. We looked, we were strapped, and there was really nothing, that we could do. Well, so we decided that we would try and make it work, but bad timing, starting Shakeology, trying to pay for another kid in daycare, wanting to back off on, my hours at work. So that was like a double whammy right there. But then I started to just share this journey. I had no intentions of doing it with anything other than a discount. And I just started plugging in and just reaching out to people, and people just started I reached out to my hot market, and people immediately started to connect, and they, knew I was into fitness, and they trusted me right off the bat, a couple people. So I think that gave me the nudge to, to kind of go. And then, I fell short of Success Club, what's the 3 month, this Success Club, help me out, girls.
Starters.
Yes. Starters. Yes.
Oh, starters.
Because my 3rd month, I totally was like, I don't need this. I have 3 people ready to go. They're totally going to order, and I'm going to get it. I missed it by 1 point because I stopped inviting that month. I thought I had it in the bag. I had family coming into town, and, I was like, I don't, these people are going to order, and they didn't, and I missed it. And I was like, whoa, that kind of sucked, and so that was another good point, a turning point where I learned, okay, well, all right, well, now I'm a fighter. I'm like, well, I totally failed at that goal. So then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to get it this month. And so that kind of has always been, in the back of my mind, anytime that you think that you have people ready to go, you continue to invite, you hit your goal, and you're still continuing to invite, because then they're ready for the next month.
Right.
But now it's ended up that, I'm paying for the girls' daycare every single week, and now it's covering my extra day off at work.
That's awesome.
And even more. So, we're starting, my vision is I want to be able to have, the freedom to say when I want to work at my job. And if I don't need to work, I don't want to have to work. I want to be able to be home with my girls and take them to the bus, and not have to feel like I have to rely on my husband or somebody else to do it for us. I want to be able to go to their, to their games and not miss out on, their first day of school, anything like that. And so that is my vision. And, we've had some things going on in our life recently with my mother-in-law that's really been kind of weighing on both of us, but we're pushing through, and it really makes me realize that, life is even more fragile because you never know what can happen, and it's really pushing me even more. So, and so,
okay.
Yeah, and then my husband just quit his Kroger job tonight, so.
He did?
I finally did.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I didn't know he was working there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he grips the rope too.
So.
Okay. So he was working 2 jobs.
A big income, but it was something that we were using to just kind of pay a car payment. And he's finally been like, it's more important for me to be with the family. This isn't doing anything, as far, it's just better if I'm at home, and, you're making more, and we don't need it. So he quit that tonight, and I was really excited. He just told me that. So,
that is flipping awesome, Nan. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
That is awesome. I'm so incredibly happy for you. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you guys, something that they are humble and modest. They didn't say it, but Nan is a 1-star in her husband's business center, a 1-star in her own business center. Okay, so she runs both of them, so that, to me, they are a team. She's a 2-star combined. And Christy Vincent, she's right there teetering on, 2 stars. You know what I mean? She's right there, every time she's about to hit it, something happens, but that's okay. You know, her volume's going up there. You stepped away from your home more with your kids. Man, that's amazing. So you can't take right to the bank, but you sure as heck can take volume. And volume is a great representation, in my opinion, of the lives being touched. You might think about that. Every point is like, you know, those are lives that now have hope because they had the courage to reach out and to build their team and to create that ripple effect. So you guys are in for a treat, as you can tell. Some incredible visions and you can see the fruit, okay? You judge your wise counsel. Listen to me. I talked about this at the beginning. Your wise counsel has got to have the fruit to determine whether you listen to it. Does that make sense? Okay? So you don't take counsel from someone that's fail on their third marriage. Do you see what I'm saying? If you're trying to improve your marriage, I'm not saying like don't love them. I'm saying you might not want to take advice from them right in that area. You might want to go to the people that have been married 50 years through the ups and downs and ask them. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to build your business and you're working full time, you don't follow the person or ask advice for someone that's up and down, in and out, in and out, in and out. You sit right here, you lean in, and you listen to Nan and Christy as they share the backstage pass of what theirs looks like. Through all the mom cracks, the full-time cracks, and their fruit is there. Okay, they have the fruit that most of us are after, which is more time with our family, cutting back on some work hours so that we can be more available, we can be more present, we can find that peace, you know what I mean? And really, really find more time with the people that we love. So you guys, I'm going to hand it completely over to you guys. I don't know who's starting out, but whoever's going to start, just start talking and I'll pin that video and you guys go. Okay?
Awesome. All right. So we got 15 minutes. So time
No, go over.
No? Okay. Well, I might be able to do it. That's a challenge. And
okay. Let's go, Ruth.
Now that Nan got me emotional. But okay, so the first thing, we have 5 points and we'll try to tell you the numbers. But the first one is to have a plan. So the very first thing, if you're working this business, when you're owning this business at whatever level, is that you have to have a plan. You know, I went in and I never expected to be messaged, hey, the group starts in 5 days. You need to, send links to people to order or things like that. So Team Courage or your team page, there's information. For example, in our team, the Crazy Nuts, every Monday there's a forecast of what's coming up. I know Nan does a very similar thing. There's calendars. You need to take the ownership to open your planner, your online calendar, whatever you're going to use, and put those dates in and plan forward and take the time to think out, okay, there's a free challenge the first Monday of every month. So as I'm talking to people, I need to have in my mind when that's going to start. That's something that you have to own and something that I know that I did from the beginning. Just open my planner, planned ahead. Follow the training. There's training in there. Currently, it just got revamped with Like a Boss training. You need to plan when you're going to work through that. It's 7 days. They're about an hour-long video. When is that going to be? Driving to work? Are you going to take a long time on Saturday, an hour every Saturday, and really listen to a video? Take the training, download it, put it in your planner when you're doing that. So set a plan, do the trainings that are there, and just own that. That's your piece. And then the third part in planning is knowing where your resources are. So there is the team pages. Even before that, we all have an online office. And I know it's not like the super easiest iPad back office. It is a little tricky, but you can work through it. No one ever came over and walked me through each tab. I just took some time, put it on my calendar to play around, see what I could find. At the very bottom of every single page on your online office, it says, contact us and FAQs. You can click on it from any page. You can type whatever you want. I mean, everything from Shakeology and pregnancy or military discount, ingredients in Shakeology. It's all there. And if it's not there, there's live chat. And I don't know what Beachbody's been doing, but my live chats in the last 3 months have been amazing. Like so fast. They email you right away. They're escalating things. I mean, there's really no reason not to get things resolved. So, I know maybe one time in the past you had a bad experience. Keep trying, keep doing it. because they're really there to help you. So that's number one, your online office. Go there first, find information. Just like when you're teaching your kids, if you tell them every single time what the answer to 2 + 2 is, they're not going to figure it out. You have to give them the sticks or the counters or whatever and have them figure it out. If you just go to your direct coach and say, where do I find this? How do I do it? Every time, you're never going to really learn it. So go there, figure it out. If you're really stuck, then go to your team page. Everyone is plugged into a team page. Ask the question there. The awesome thing about that is there is someone else that will see it quickly and can answer. So that way, as coaches, we all don't feel like we have to be available 100% of the time. We can do it together. That's what the point of this is. If you still don't know, then message your coach. But then know that you need to give them 24 hours, 48 hours. This is nothing in this business is like life and death. I have worked life and death. I used to be a respiratory therapist. Nothing in this business is like needs. And if you do, call 911. Don't contact me. Like, you know.
If it's an emergency, I'm not the right person.
Yeah, 911 is a way better option. But just know, because someday, like, and I remember Summer saying this to me when I was really, the team was building and things, do things like you have 1,000 people on your team. It's really easy at the beginning to always be there and really just kind of holding on to those roots and not letting anything happen and being really nervous, but that doesn't serve anyone. So really know that by honoring your coach and giving them time, people will honor you down the line. So use those resources. So number one, have a plan, use your resources. We're all adults. We're all really, really intelligent because we said yes to this business. So I know you're smart. So that's number one.
Good. I love it. I got nothing to add to that. I mean, that is just, I mean, seriously, I mean, I think it's insulting for us to, you know, for me to always be that, like I refuse to babysit my coaches because I refuse to devalue them. Does that make sense? Like, see, we are all, like, we are wonderfully made, like, seriously. Like we have all the tools to succeed, you know? And so I want to walk next to you, but me carrying you across or your coach carrying you across the finish line, that won't do anybody any good, because you need to learn to persevere and to grow so that you can go to the next level of leadership, which you're going to have to go there for your vision. So that's a great, I mean, that's what we are, a team. You know what I mean? Let us be your team. You know what I mean? And really plug into that resource. So that's good, Christy.
All right, Nan.
So number two is to always work from a list. So you hear it time and time again, can constantly be adding to your list being your people that you're inviting. So if you're a brand new coach, there's in the new coach training, there's a 7-day brain dump that you can do that we have. Write down everybody that you and your husband, your kids, you know, whoever takes care of your cat, whatever it may be, your hairdresser, write it all down on that list. And think about the people that you meet every single day. Maybe when you're out at the park, you go to COSI, the people that you know, run across, you know, at work, anybody that may be, your dentist, because you just never know. It doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily reach out to those people right away. You definitely want to start, you know, with your hot market if you're a brand new coach. But know that, you know, once you get through that, you need to constantly be adding to your list. Off the top of your head, everybody should know 10 people right now that you can invite right now to a challenge group. You know, so I think that's really important. But how we do that and how you get really, you could do that a couple different ways. Definitely by forming. We've talked about that before. Always having your conversations going. I know that I have, you know, at any given time, probably anywhere for around 80 conversations going. Now that doesn't mean that like they're all ready to be invited like tomorrow. These are conversations that, you know, I'm consistently moving people from kind of like a brand new message to maybe like kind of forming, you know, learning about what their why might be, to maybe like those that I'm ready in the invite process, but maybe they've objected to me. So now I'm moving them back into, into the next month that I'm going to invite. So I've constantly got a funnel of invites that it's going in and out of basically my inbox all the time. So every single month, when I started coaching, what I did, I learned this from Kimberly Wilcox, was I literally wrote down from my list 60 to 90 people, or whatever your goal is that month, wrote it on my list of in the beginning of the month of who I was going to contact. So who I planned on inviting. That depended on, I took that from people that maybe were commenting and liking my transformation posts, commenting on, maybe that had been, even if it wasn't, maybe it was like a recipe or something like that. And I reached out to them, like asking them if they were, on a journey as well. Maybe I was asking them, if they had any, clean eating recipes that they wanted to share, anything like that. So I can kind of get a conversation going with them. I wrote them on my list because obviously those people are on a journey, and that they've been watching your Facebook page, so they're seeing your story. And that way, when you do reach out to people, it's not like, who are you? Like, I don't know who you are, and it's really kind of random. So those are definitely the people that that I reach out to first. And then I also am putting people back on my list every single month if they've had an objection. If I've worked out the objections, ran through the invite script, and it ends up that they end up saying no, like they're just not ready, that's okay. I put them on the list for the next month, and I'll plug them into maybe a 5-day or a 7-day refocus group with me, and get them started there and kind of just get their feet wet and have them try out the group, really see how I can add value to them and kind of really build that trust. And I've had a lot of success with doing it that way. So a lot of people I know struggle with how to add to your list. I know for me, I really feared that there would be a point that I would stop knowing people, and it's so not true. Now I can tell you that I reach out to my cold market, and like that's who I connect with all the time now. These are people that literally, if they have a mutual friend, I'm friending them. And sometimes they don't ever friend you back, and that's okay. But when they do, I might message them. I typically will know like what group they came from or something, so I might message them right away, just asking them, something about the group, or maybe if it was like a, I don't know, like, I always love connecting with somebody with similar interest. What are you doing as far as like I do a lot of like workout groups or running groups and that kind of stuff. Where are you at on your journey? And then that gets them to immediately connect back with me, and I can kind of start to see where they're at and what they're doing and see what I can offer them. So those are, I'm constantly adding that. And the other thing is 5-day events, free events, whether that's like a push-up challenge, plank challenge, and keeping them public is a huge thing to be able to add to your list. That way everybody can see your event. Your friends will see your event. The friends of your friends that attend your event will be able to see it. So that's a great way to also to add to your list. And then again, you can, get them in the group, and they can kind of see what the group is like. And then the other thing is to ask for referrals. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals from your challengers. Somebody that says no, ask them if they know somebody that would benefit from, what you have to offer. If, anybody that that would benefit from being surrounded by a group like this. So those are just some ways that, definitely, I think it's really important to always be cycling through new people, and don't just keep building with those same maybe 30 names constantly over and over again, because we can really get kind of stuck. So definitely keep your funnel full, and constantly be reaching out to new people. I know a bunch of us, myself included, have been really doing Teamsy and really liking it. It's really cut down on my power hour. And as far as keeping track of follow-ups, because that is so huge. So whatever system that you use, make sure that you do have a system that works where you are following up with people. So I think that's really...
One thing I wanted to just add on that, the reason why this was number 2 and so important is the time component. Like if you have the list written down electronically, whether it's Teamsy or on a sticky note that can carry you, this is like that mom crap tip. I never was like, oh shoot, who am I sending messages to? It was in my planner, the list of 15 people a week that I was going to send messages to. That did that on Sunday, planned that out. That saved me time. So that's where when we say a list, like you have to be able, okay, it's work, sit down, start, not like think and process through. So
That's
to
good.
add, like, right,
You have to have a plan. Like you said, though. For one, you have to have that plan, and that list has to be part of that plan. So like Christy said, if you're going to maximize, if you're going to be a boss, you know what I mean, a professional in this business, you guys, and you're going to all in does not mean all day. You guys have to hear them out on this, okay? But the only way to make sure that all in is not all day is that you have a plan. And that you have a list when you sit down and it's work time. It's not like, oh, I wonder who texts me, or, oh, you know what I mean? Like, you're not like, you're here, you're focused. I know that has helped a lot of Sapphire like-minded people. Teamsy has helped with that. So you guys just, if you like learn nothing else, know that you have to treat this with the same, like the same intensity that you treat your workouts. Like there's a plan, right? You know that you will succeed. Like the challenge pack is foolproof. Like it's not like it might work. I tell my challengers this all the time. It's not like it kind of works or might work. It will work if you follow the plan. Now, the less we follow the plan, the less I can guarantee the recipe. Does that make sense? So, you know, you have a plan when you do your workouts. The same goes for this business, you know? And so it will save you time if you sit down. I think, Christy, you said you do yours on Sunday when you sit down and plan?
Yeah, that's what I did before Teamsy. And now I have an extra 30 minutes because I have Teamsy plans it for me.
I know. If only, so I'm just bitter. And the fact
$25 to me.
4 years ago. You know what I mean? I'm just bitter.
If you're just starting out and you're not ready, you know, you don't have a huge list and you don't need it right away. Like I succeeded for 2 years without Teamsy. Yeah, it would have been nice. But if you're hesitant to invest, you definitely, you know, can get started and get momentum without it. So number 3 is be an active challenger. So the number one thing in this business is that you remember that the biggest part is that you are a challenger. You are in a fitness and health and wellness journey. So being an active challenger, many coaches can speak to this. If you start to fall off in your Shakeology, you fall off in your workouts, you fall off in your posting, you're going to not be as successful as a coach. You might be able to skate by for a little bit, but it's going to catch up to you. So staying active and engaged as a challenger is going to pay you dividends as a coach. So practice forming in your challenge groups. This is something that kind of came to me that I did, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. So it can be a little scary, like to start getting to know cold invites and new people to your list, but starting your challenge groups, these are people that have already trusted you or another coach on your team. When they're sorry, my dog is crazy. When they're posting like their why or getting started or about them, that first day, ask another question. So when they say they're a nurse, say, oh, how long have you been a nurse? What kind of patients do you work with? Do you like that job? For example, practice in those challenge groups. When someone says it was a really hard day, I totally stress ate. Okay, what was the trigger? Tell me more about that. That safe place as a coach, they already said yes, they already trusted you, is gonna help you when you're out here in these conversations at the park or on Messenger for people that haven't purchased. So, and it's gonna make your challenge groups better. People are gonna feel connected, they're gonna make those relationships. So you're gonna have better challenge groups. And if you've had a dud challenge group, you know it can really get you down as a coach. So making those relationships is going to make your challenge groups better, which is going to make you have more coaches sign up, which is going to make better coaches. It all starts there. And then make sure you're tracking and sharing your own results, that you are taking the time to post every day. If you're not doing it, then why is anyone else going to do it? If you're not taking monthly pictures, measurements, those kind of things, it's not going to trickle down. And again, if you're not taking ownership of that piece, my guess is that you're not taking ownership of other pieces. You're maybe not really giving the support that you should to the people that are committing to you. So really, the challenge group system that's set up, and again, you don't need to create it. It's all in Everything with Heart. Super simple. This is what you send when they sign up. This is how you sign them up. Here's examples of posts for every day of the week. You know, this is how we do it. And then you just add your personality and love and support and consistency. But being in there is going to duplicate into your team and your page. So that is step one. So
Yeah, I like that, you guys. And it's funny, like I'll have people say like, so do you really use Coach Essentials? That's all I use. You guys, it is saved on my phone in my Google Drive as Coach Essentials. When I go to start pre-week for a group, I go to Coach Essentials 30-day challenge group pre-week, and I use that. That made like seriously, and it works for me. I've been running challenge groups this way forever, and then I just add my personality, whatever's going on in my life. I'm real. I'm raw. I'm talking about my surgery. I'm talking about not being able to work out. I'm talking about not drinking alcohol while Chad's drinking alcohol in front of me. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like I'm just sharing myself. Does that make sense? Like weaving it in there, but there's a system, and that cuts down on time, and this is what they're teaching you. Okay, so follow the recipe.
Okay. So the number 4 is social media. So social media is huge, and it was a huge fear of mine, and I know we talked about this a little bit on the call last week, so I'm not going to get into it too much because this really could be its own call in itself. So but really you want to think of branding yourself. You don't want to be branding Beachbody. You are your own brand. So that is huge. And that was something right off the bat that, you know, I didn't like selfies. I didn't like putting myself out there. So I would post like my kids or maybe my food and not my face. And so, you know, we do like, you know, those Facebook, you know, but I was like posting, you know, and it might be like a random picture with like half my head or like me planking. And I was comfortable with that, like, but not my face, like, no. So, but, you know, we did in one of the trainings, Facebook, social media, kind of evaluation. And Christy actually was like, you know, you don't really post a lot of your face. I think we could improve on this. And I was like, and I looked and I was like, oh man, I suck. Like, I was like, oh, you're right. Like, so I changed that. And I mean, like the little tweaks that I have made, you know, so if you haven't done a Facebook evaluation, you know, definitely do that. Go on your Facebook page and look at your last 5 posts. What are they? Are they the same thing? Is it all of your kids? Is it all of your dog? Is it all of you working out? Like, what is it? Try and make sure that you have like basically 5 other pillars, 4 to 5 other things that aren't Beachbody related that make you you. Whether that's like your job, military life, organization, you know, gardening, running, you know, family, fashion, pets, anything. What are those that make you you? And sprinkle that in. And then you sprinkle your Beachbody story in there within that. But make it your story, not the Shakeology cup, not like the little fixed containers, none of that stuff. And then think of your target market when you're posting. So who do you want to be speaking to? Who is your best friend? Who are you trying to get the message out to? That are you trying to talk to like your mom, or is it like your uncle, or is it like, for me, it's like an active mom, you know, with kids, and I want to share with her tips how she can fit this into the mom cracks, how she can be healthy and have her kids be healthy, and, you know, share that. So those are the things that I'm fitting in there. Like, you know, trying to make it funny and hilarious kind of along the way. This is kind of random, but it's really funny to see the different people that will actually look at your Facebook page. I actually had somebody, like, there was a picture of Chris and I, we just worked out, and he was like lying behind me. I didn't think it was a bad angle, but apparently it was, and people took it the wrong way. But I was like, awesome. And so many people commented on that and went with it. I was like, it's okay. You totally did not offend me. Yeah. When I started a long time ago, I probably would have been offended by that and probably would have been like, okay. But now I think I need to make like a sequel of it or something. I don't know. But
there you go. Yeah, exactly.
But so yeah, so, you know, and always be positive. So we are going to get people that are negative on our feed, and you have that right to just delete the comment. You don't argue, or if it's something, you know, like, just like it and move on, and just stay positive on there. That is a huge thing, because when you're reaching out to people, that is the first thing that so many people say is, you know, you are so motivating, you're so positive. How do you stay that way? Like, people want that secret, you know, and we have it. It's right here, connecting and being on these webinars every single week and being surrounded by this awesome team, you guys. So, you know, be sharing that you're on these calls, and, you know, take a snapshot tonight and share, you know, that what you're doing as a coach. This is a great way to kind of sprinkle that in, how you're staying positive. And then another big thing is definitely, if you have your kids' picture, your dog, or maybe the Beachbody containers or whatever it may be on your profile picture, please go ahead and change that tonight and make it a picture of you smiling, you know, like whatever it may be, where you're comfortable, a nice close shot of your face, because when you're messaging people, this is what they're going to see. They don't know you other than that little tiny square box. So that is huge. So please, if you do anything, you know, do nothing else tonight, change that if you haven't. And then also make your Facebook page public. I know it's super scary, you know, with having kids or whatever your job may be, that you don't want to do that, but you can always change your albums to, you know, friends of friends only. You can change all of that to certain, if you're posting things about your kids that you don't want the public to see as well. And don't post to post. So I know we always want to be adding value. So think about it, like, you know, ask a question maybe at the end of it, you know, like, you know, we're out enjoying this beautiful day. Who else is getting outside today? You know, make it something fun and like engagement. Always try and engage your audience. Try and always post like yourself, like a quote over maybe your face or you or something that you're doing. Share your personal development, share a quote or something that really touched you that day, and share how it changed your mindset. You know, like maybe you had a rough morning, but then you dove into your personal development and, you know, what was the quote, and share how that changed you for that day. Constantly just be rotating topics. So don't continue to post the same thing. You know, and then just always be sharing your journey, sharing your transformation, sharing your challengers' transformation, shouting out your coaches, shouting out, you know, your challengers, and sharing that you not are only successful, but your challengers, and you're helping people be successful. That's huge. And don't be afraid if you don't get anybody that's liking your post. Just continue to post, because chances are they're not going to really like. You mean, like when I post a transformation, I'm like, I'm not expecting anybody. If I can change one person's life by one transformation post, that's my goal. It's not my goal to get like 20 challengers out of it. But over time, like people are going to relate to somebody's story that might be a little bit different than your story. And that's what it is like facts tell, stories tell. So you always want to be posting a transformation with the story. Not just like 21-day fix, lost 40 pounds, and that's it. You know, always be sharing a story with it. And I try and do that, you know, either like shouting out or something about a transformation or the challenge group every single week, whether that or my coaching journey or what coaching has been doing for me. So I try and keep that into rotation. I think that's important and something I'm going to try and do even more of. But I think that's it really. Oh, and another tip too is think out loud. So like think of like what you would want. This is something too that has helped me kind of post recently. Like like you're talking to your best friend or something that you'd want your best friend to tell your best friend. Like you'd wake up and be like, man, I didn't want to wake up today. It was so tough to get out of bed, but I did it and I got my workout in, and I feel, you know, just like think out loud of your journey or like what you're going to post, because make it a little story, but don't share your entire story in one post either. So try and make it, you know, it's not too long, because what I've heard is you have to earn the long post, and that is true. I
learned that from Janelle.
Yeah. Yes. So, but yeah, think out loud and reread your post. If you read it out loud, it doesn't make sense. Like, how can you change it so it makes sense? So, and always make them bright and, you know, like colorful, scroll stopping, those kinds of things. And another recent thing that I've been doing is putting spaces in between each like paragraph, and that really helps with it not looking so wordy and like a big bubble. Like I'm like, oh, I don't want to read that. That's too long. Like when I'm scrolling through somebody's page. So. Or
like emojis. They have shown that emojis attract people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's picture.
Yeah.
Attract.
Yeah. Katie Shepard just said, earn long posts. Like, it takes time. Like, it takes time to pull people into your story. You know what I mean? Until they will generally stop long enough to read a long post. Does that make sense?
They want to like know that it's worth their time. So if in short posts are worth their time, then they're going to give you longer time.
Right. It just takes time.
And one thing I was going to say too is don't feel like it has to be good right now, because like Summer can attest to 2 years ago, it's not good and it's still not perfect. And some people, like Nan said, Nan had a knack from the beginning of making things look pretty, but she hid herself, from it. So that was an area of growth. We all have things that we grow on, but the important thing is we just started doing it, even though it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So if you just start if you don't do it, then you're not going to learn what things work and what things don't. And every time you put a post out that you really want to like throw up and it ends up going really well and you get some of those responses back, that's going to help build your confidence to keep doing it again. Once you get that one person that says, because you shared that story of, your mother having bipolar is, example in my life, like, this is why I know I can talk to you and you understand me. So those things are never easy to share, but just really getting that one person makes it all worth it. And like Nan said, I can attest to the fact that, a year ago, if she had put that post up and gotten some of the same feedback, she wouldn't be laughing it off. So you're going to grow. And you're going to learn that it's worth it and it's fun and, it's my business. And if they don't like me, then they're not my customer. And there's thousands of customers out there. So you want your customers, not just the ones that you're trying to please, because it'll feel icky down the line and it won't be fun. So that kind of goes right into our last point, which is about inviting, which is like that big scary thing, but you have to do it. So how to do it with making it a buying experience for people instead of that you're selling things. My number one tip is you absolutely have to use scripts. Absolutely. Like Summer does it. I do it. Nan does, like the same as the Coach Essentials. I have scripts up in another window or my Google Doc app. Anytime I'm sitting down with my list during my planned time, sending messages. And yes, there's a little bit of a tweak. You throw in like, oh yeah, when you told me about how you felt at the pool, that reminds me of when, then you can go into the script, like it's there. You scroll through it and you look for ideas and pull it up. So do not try to figure out what to say on your own, because when you do that, that's when you go into the salesy, because this is a skill. It's a skill to help people. It's a skill to ask the right questions that are going to get you the answers you need to get to people's why. It's a skill to learn what they really need and how to draw out those long stories. I know it's been asked sometimes, like, how do you get so much information from people? I know Nan can attest that too. Like, how do they tell you their story? And it's because you ask the right question, which are from the scripts that are from Danny Johnson, so everyone can use that. You don't need to be a master communicator to use that. Use the tools. For example, I just pulled, we want to create the buying experience for people. So do you like to go buy something or do you like to shop? Not many of us like to go grocery shopping, but I would imagine that most of us like to go buy, your new shoes for a special date or a purse. So that's what we're trying to recreate. We want something new and exciting. This is a new group. It's the time that you're not going to give up on yourself. It's the time that we're going to get results for you. This is exciting. It's new. This is it. You want to build that excitement. It's a great deal. And it's not like it's a sale. It's a great deal. It's you get me as your coach. You get Shakeology, which is by far the best nutrition supplement. And you have to believe these things. So if you don't, then we need to go back to the challenge group thing and get you results. You get these programs that are world-class trainers. Like they're the best sequence of events, the best exercises. This is what you get. That is an amazing deal.
Have to be honest. And Christy, this is so true. Like when I give people the price of what it's going to cost, I can't believe that they get to do this with me for $140. I'm like, this really should cost more. You know what I mean? Like that's honestly how I feel, to be surrounded by not just myself, but the other coaches in the group, and then the meal plan and the tools and the workout and the Shakeology, and it's only 100. That's crazy. And so communication is 93% nonverbal, and so if you're getting a ton of objections, it's probably because you have the objection. You know what I mean? You probably believe the objection. You're probably not quite sold yet that Shakeology is actually worth $130. You're probably not sold yet that the programs actually work. You're kind of still like, teetering. Do you know what I mean? Like, and Danny teaches that, and it's true. I've talked to people before, and I was like, I don't think you're sold yet on it. Therefore, you can't possibly sell someone else on it. The belief has got to be there. And so you have to understand that. And how do you overcome that lack of belief? Is life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? And so you have to speak life over it constantly. And that is absolutely vital. So, sorry, Christy.
That's okay. Yeah. So just, wrap up those points that, people buy for an experience. And again, so the importance of talking about the challenge group. That's something different. That's something different than you'll get with a personal trainer that you see for an hour and then they disappear. That's something different than you get from even like Weight Watchers that has meetings, but this is, groups that you have all the time. People are paying for the experience. When people come to be a coach, they're becoming a coach for the experience. They want more of this. They want more of our team. So remember that. That's that key that you need to be sharing that's different. And I know, Nan, you can attest this too. You stopped sharing for the discount a long time ago. It's because you need this team. Girl, again, we talk to our friends like, you need this team. You need my friends. That's what we honestly believe and say. And that's when things switch. And that's easy to do, and it's fun, and it doesn't take a lot of time. And I think, that's pretty much, I would say, how we get it down to basics. And all these little things, you can go to the Vitals webinar, you can go to the Like a Boss training and get more of it. But, that's how we've gotten it done over the last couple of years. Nan, do you have any?
I know a lot of people, Sherry was talking about building your confidence with the invite scripts, and it's true. And a lot of people right off the bat, they think that it's not genuine. It's not really them. It's not, doesn't sound like them. And, in the beginning, I kind of thought that, but then once I started to, I was like, why am I rewriting this though to make it me? You could take out little words here and there and still make it your own, but keep the content of it there. The meat and potatoes is still there. You can if you don't like to say he or something, I don't know, change it, awesome or whatever it may be to make it sound like you, but they work. They really do. And definitely when you have somebody reach out to you that, it might be out of the blue, or maybe they do comment on, a transformation. They want to know what somebody's doing. First off, don't put it in the comments what they're doing. Keep them curious and private message them off to the side, and then you can comment and you can talk back and forth to them. But ask them right off the bat. I'm so excited that you asked. I'm so glad that you asked. Can I, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions first to see if this is the right fit for you? And ask them that, because versus you just puking all over them all this information, they're gonna be like, oh, I have no idea. And now you are just asking for objections, honestly, because basically when you ask questions, kind of backing them into the door, you're not gonna have any objections, so that's huge. So really do the forming, and then once you get into their a little bit of their why and stuff, then just start working right into the script and use it. And there's still going to be objections, and don't be afraid once you get one objection to work right through it again. I know for me, recently I had a couple of people, and I reworded the way that, the cost objection was. One, I split it out, and it was $433 a day, that one. And then the one I said, Shakeology is $130 a month, but with 21-day fix, it's only $10, and I try to word it a different way, and they purchase. So you just never know how they're going to hear it, so just know, just because they say no the first time, ask more questions, reach out and share their why again. I know that you really are, are your why is that you want to be comfortable in your bathing suit on your vacation or whatever it may be. And I know how frustrating you must be with that. And I really want to help you. I have the recipe, and share that again. And I guarantee that they will come back. And if you share that you are going to be right there with them fighting, not going anywhere and not letting go, that they will join you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, the scripts, I did a coach opportunity share the other day after they had watched the webinar. I always have people watch the webinar so I can ask them, what did you like best about it? You know what I mean? Always, but I pull up the script. Do you know what I mean? Like, just like I tell you guys to do, when I get on the phone, I'm staring at the script. Let me tell you why. I want to make sure that I don't skip finding out what their need is. Because I can get pretty excited. Y'all know that, right? Like I can just like take over a conversation, whereas I need to step back and hear their need. Why is this exciting to them? What part popped out to them? And listen and really ask questions. And that's what the script reminds me to do. It also reminds me to stay on track and who it's about, and when to share my story and stuff, and to make sure I'm covering that stuff. And so the scripts aren't icky. They're there for you to make sure that you're getting everything you need to direct them. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you need to know about those things, so that you're helping them, guide them in the right direction so that you are a good fit. I know someone right here said they think they're losing people because they're giving them too many options. Stop giving them all these options. Does that make sense? When I'm talking to people and they're really sure, it's just like the scripts. Tell me more about that. How long have you been struggling? It's not like, how many of you guys open your phone and you see, like, it takes up a whole thing and you just shut your phone? No, I know I'm not the only one that's like, like, you know what I mean? Like, so your people, 87% of people are reading on their phone. They are checking Facebook on their phone. So it looks longer on their phone. So if you just vomit it all over them, they might open it and then shut it because it's like, whoa, I'm at a stoplight. I do not have time. You know what I mean? Or I'm running into my kid's school. I do not have time. And then they forget. And then it almost haunts them because it's like long and people are busy. So it's little things that you can talk back and forth that keeps the conversation going. And then at the end, it's like, listen, this is in the scripts. Listen, I know exactly where you're coming from. If I gave you a recipe, if I showed you the recipe that would free you from, or whatever your wording is, because you got, why is this important to you? How has this been affecting your life? I get that. I remember crying in my closet every time I, got dressed to go on a date with Chad, or shopping for bathing suits was horrific for me. You know what I mean? Like, if I could give you a recipe, the same recipe that helped free me from my bondage, are you willing to follow that? Is this worth fighting for to you? And if they're like, actually, no, Summer, it's not worth fighting for, that sucks. Okay, well, when you're ready to fight, girl, when you are ready to follow this recipe, I'm gonna be right here with open arms, right here. And then I move on. Do you know what I mean? And then I check on them, a couple of weeks. How you doing, girl? You still working towards making changes? No, Summer, I've gone the other direction. Oh, tell me more about that. Does that make sense? That I don't want to manipulate people. I do want them to identify that, yes, I am willing to fight. Yes, I want to follow your recipe. Yes, the same one that freed you. Awesome. Then all we need to do is I need to get you in the group. Okay, we got to figure out the workout that is the best fit for you, and I'm going to give you the recipe, and this is the direction we're going. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I'm not giving a bunch of options. The challenge pack is the recipe, period, end of story. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to set you up for success. You're going to be surrounded by like-minded people. Let's do this. You know what I mean? And that's how I talk, and so there are no options. There isn't. I don't get people not doing Shakeology and a program together because that is the recipe. And I've already identified their pain point. And we have to. We have to identify their pain point. If you keep going, I say this to people, it's in the script, if you keep doing what you're doing, where will you be a year from now? Summer, I don't even want to know where I'll be a year from now. Let's not go there. Let's do this recipe, the same recipe that freed me from my bondage for so many years. It's time. You are wonderfully made. Let's do this. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Awesome. Here's how you order. You're in the group. Do you see what I'm saying? That's how it flows. That's how it goes. And that's all on the script. Okay, so you guys got anything left to add to that?
There's questions about where all this is. It's all on everythingwithheart.com.
Yes.
Absolutely. All of it.
And then you go
If
to
you
Coach
they
Tool.
don't say Coach Essentials. Like, it's like right there. They look like little presents because they're like my present to you. You know what I mean? I had Casey design them that way. There's also all coaches start here, which will take you to the Like a Boss training. And within the Like a Boss training on day one, I think it points you to a Coach Essentials. You know what I'm saying? So that you can always find it right there. You can also always find our team trainings, our YouTube channel, our team YouTube channel that then has, you know, Like a Boss training. It has our webinars. It has leadership training, you know, all those kind of things divided up. So it's all super easy for you to find, you know. Christy, did you take the folder, the Google Drive folder, and save it to your Google Drive?
Yes.
Yes.
So, and if you have Google Drive on your phone, anytime you open something up, so say Summer posts something and you're like, okay, and I open it up, it is now in your Google Drive if you have that app. So just it's there, you know, and you can make a copy if you're really organized. I try to do this and I'm not very good, and Nan yells at me, is make a copy and organize and put nice folders and take out the extra junk. So you can make it really, really Emily, which I'm not very good at follow through, but
I'm
it's
Emily.
super easy.
Yep, mine are totally like obviously Coach Essentials. When you guys go into Coach Essentials, that is what my Google Drive looks like. That's my folder every single day. That's all I work from. Period. End of story. When I get on the phone with the coach chair, I pull that up. You know what I mean? When I go to do personal development, I listen to our team YouTube channel. You guys, that is my business in a box. You know what I mean, so to speak. So that's how I run it. So, any other questions, you guys?
And I'd say one, like if you're struggling with Google Drive or how to do, like go to YouTube and look up Google Drive. Like put that on your planner that you're going to do that this week, and it'll be easy. That's where we're talking about. Like if you're stumbling over something, write that down, put it on your plan, find a time to figure it out, because you're very, very smart and you can do it. I promise. If I can do it, you can do it. Because we didn't have all these Google things when I started.
Yeah, me neither.
And I figured it out. So
I was in we did Dropbox, and then my Dropbox
that broke a lot.
Yeah, I got a question for the Google Drive, because I change Google. I add things to Google Drive. I don't change them, but you'll see me sometimes add things. Does that show up if you've saved it in your Google Drive? That probably my changes probably don't show up in yours, do they? They do. If you've saved it.
No, if we make a copy of it, it doesn't.
Right.
But if we, yeah.
So just be aware of that, you guys, that like I update things, you know what I mean? I mean, it's really actually, there's not, I mean, that's what I use all the time, but I'll add new, like if someone posts something on the wall, which is 5 stars and above, and it's like, did you guys see that? It was like things you can't control, things you can control. Like I added that to Coach Essentials, you know, in case you wanted to pull it up and remind yourself. So I do add things sometimes. I might check there every couple months if I were you guys to see if I've added anything, and then you could add it back over to your saved Google Drive. But all the other stuff, I've been using the same stuff for a long time. You know what I mean? It is the recipe. So anything else? We good? Okay, we only overshot our goal by 30 minutes. Gosh.
Next week.
Okay, new goal. Next week. We got to figure out what I have to tweak. Maybe I need to shut up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I just need to eat. Okay, you guys, awesome. You guys, hopefully you guys got a lot of good notes. You leaned in. You guys have your ACT apply, change, teach, like Maxwell teaches. Keep your notes organized, you know? And just take those things that say apply, those things that you need to focus on now, highlight them, and then start working on those things. Don't overwhelm yourself, okay? Keep showing up. Keep staying plugged in. With consistency, that's how you become good. When you submit yourself to being teachable, when you become humble, that's when you become great. And all of you guys that are on here, you leaned in with us, and so you are on your way to being great. And we have really big things to accomplish as a team, okay? So listen, if you're not signed up for Summit, it is not too late to get to Rooftop Leadership and to lean in with Scott Mann and to be there with our team. So I want you guys to know we still have some seats left. They are being picked up by outside people, but we have some. If you can't get to anything else get to the rooftop leadership, you know, with this team, to lean in, because as we've been putting it together, you guys, it is coming together in such an awesome way. So if you haven't signed up, you guys, get there. You know, even if it is just for that 4-hour training, it'll be worth your, you know, your gas money, your lunch that it takes to get there, and then your $35. Okay? All right, you guys haven't, what are you going to say, Nan? I feel like
I see a bunch of new coaches are on here commenting. So don't get overwhelmed. Honestly, I will tell you, we're like personal development, plug into these webinars and do that like a boss training and you'll be good. Don't try not to get overwhelmed, but yeah, plug into your personal development as quickly as you can. National wake up calls, you know, I avoided it, but definitely as soon as you can do it, like get on it.
Yeah.
So
yep. That's good advice. I love that.
It's going to help with that belief right away. So.
Yep. Nope. That's good. You guys, and the thing is, that's the cool thing is just become a student. You know what I mean? Don't try to tackle it all at one time. Just keep showing up and letting it reprogram right here, and you'll pick up new things, and you'll just tweak things a little by little by little through action. Through action. Don't wait to get all your ducks in a row. Take a couple things, apply. Come back next week hungry to learn some more. Just keep applying, keep doing. Okay, keep taking action and keep growing. You guys have an awesome week. I can't wait to see some of you guys in Cleveland in just under 2 weeks. And then, of course, so many of you guys I get to hug at Summit. So I can't wait until our tribe is together on the rooftop. It's going to be powerful. You guys, thank you, Christy and Ian. You guys are incredible leaders. I'm so blessed to sit next to you guys in this whole journey. All right, you guys, talk to you later. Bye.